Good morning, Bangalore. So we will go to the introduction, what we do at SRide, why we do, and different use cases of Redis, and why finally we fall in love with Redis. So commute is a big problem. It's very, very congested and polluted. There are too many vehicles on the road. We don't need those many vehicles on the road. It's too costly. As of now, average professionals spend 10% of their monthly spend on the commute, which is too high, and it's really boring. So we are trying to solve this problem by reducing vehicles from the road, by sharing the empty seats with the riders, and giving a social experience on the go, help people to make friends. And we do this with SRide by creating India's largest carpooling and bike pooling app. Users can share their empty seats with their neighbors and colleagues, and rest of the app part, we take care of it. And we are able to achieve this so far. We have saved around 4 million trees, and we are present in the 8 cities. I will jump into the tech scale so I can give a context how we are using Redis. We do a 15 million rides and matches request every month, 120 million API calls in order to support entire function of Redis. And we really have a big problems because all the rides happen in the morning and evening. So you can see the Spark here. So this is the oversimplified architecture of Redis SRide. So we have a native iOS and Android application. It hits the load balancers. And we have different services. Some services are secured, and some are open APIs. Now, Redis work as an authentication and authorization layer for us. So whenever API calls comes, all the secured services has a middleware, and middleware goes and check auth token into Redis. And if auth token exists there, service get validated, otherwise rejected there itself. So all this 120 million API calls get validated via Redis. And it has to be very, very fast. Okay, we can't spend much time just validating those auth tokens. And it happens in less than 2 milliseconds. So just for authorization, we are adding an extra 2 milliseconds here. We also store one-time passwords into Redis database. And that we do as a write back, because as soon as we generate OTPs, we store into primary Redis database, and then after it goes into MongoDB cluster. So 4 years back, when we started designing SRide, that time we just had a MongoDB cluster. And as we started growing, we found that we have to really change the architecture in order to make API more resilient, more faster. And Redis came as an help for us. There was two options. Either we had to redesign everything, or we just added Redis as a cache in between, and it solved lots of problems. We also store lots of writes and user data in Redis, and that we do as a write around. So as soon as data comes, we just store into a MongoDB first, and then whenever calls comes back, we deliver it from the Redis. SRide also has a chat functionality. So user needs this for the coordinations and deliveries and all those kind of perspective. And there, rather than creating a very fancy chat protocols and technology, we just use Redis, and it works like really well. So what we do is that all the chat messages, as soon as come to the system, we put into Redis and just deliver back from there. So this is kind of what we store in our system. We have a profile information. So profile data is not get changed very much. So that's stored into Redis. But at the same time, we have a user's presence time. As soon as user comes into the system, we update that presence time. And now that is very frequently changed, and we did not want to bombard our MongoDB database for that. And so we started storing into Redis. Then we have lots of configuration. And configuration started growing as we started having more and more functionality in the application. There's some configuration at app level. There are configurations at the module level and user level. Now, because we already had access to Redis from the different APIs, it becomes very convenient for us to store that configuration and then just start fetching it. Similarly, there are lots of flags we have to keep into system. Especially, there are a few long-running processes, and we don't want to run it again even by mistake. So those are stored into the Redis, and before running the jobs again, we just validate that it's running or not. Transition status, write status. At SRide, we do lots of A/B testing. System has lots of feature flags, and those feature flags are also stored in Redis. And that gives a very flexibility to the product managers, for the system designers, to tweak it whenever they want, and we don't have to do lots of system restart for that. There's some aspect of security where Redis helps us, rate limiter. So all the APIs, when they hit to the system, it has to be rate limited to avoid the abuse uses, and those information are also stored in Redis. Similarly, some resource access and those kind of things are there. Okay. So it's very important to understand that what kind of hit and miss ratio we have in system. So while preparing for this talk, when I took the data out, and it came out that even in the worst case, we are hitting Redis to 96%. So only in 4% of cases, we are not getting data from Redis and hitting our MongoDB database. And average response time from data taking back from Redis is 2.4 milliseconds. While we, in the past, when we did not have Redis, it was close to 70 to 80 milliseconds. So with the help of Redis, we could save this time, and this also helped us to scale our application server because of this extra advantage we got. So another use case where Redis helped us a lot is a live location tracking. So last year, we had to rewrite the entire tracking features from the scratch. And tracking is a complex affair, okay? Because high number of devices concurrently goes into the system, and the location has to be delivered back in almost near real time. And we were exploring multiple options, but as we were already crushed with Redis, we thought to try it, and it worked really well for us. So at any point of time, we emit 2.5 million locations per minute, and Redis helped us a lot there. So this is a simple architecture for Redis, users of Redis with our location tracking feature. We are using socket.io. It's kind of WebSocket wrapper. And there is a package called socket.io Redis, which internally uses Redis to track all the connections metadata. So all the connections get established from the application to server. And all the connection metadata we store in Redis. Sorry. So there are main 5 reasons why we started using Redis everywhere in our system, wherever it makes sense. And most important is stability. We have almost 3.5 years of operational experience with Redis, and it always worked for us. I don't remember any nights where we have to wake up because the Redis was not working. Performance is really super. It's almost 2 to 3 milliseconds most of time. Community support is really, really amazing. There's so many Stack Overflow posts, tutorials and documentations are really, really great. One of the most important aspects is a low learning curve. So recently, a few developers joined SRide backend team, and they had no experience with Redis or, in fact, any in-memory databases. And within a couple of days, they are able to pick it up well, and they're now working as using Redis like pro. I also like some of the tools from Redis, which is helping us multiple times. So one tool which we use often is Slowlog. So few years back, we had a small glitch in the system where some of the operations were not working so fast in Redis. And while investigation, we used Slowlog query, Slowlog command. So we were using scan command not with a regex pattern, which is not too good things to do. And as we scaled up, the scan command getting slower and slower. So Slowlog help us to find out what is the problem, and we could rectify it quickly. Another tools which we use it very much is a benchmark. It's a simple tool. You just throw how many operations you want to test, and it create a load on the Redis and tells you how well your cluster is. So it just gives us the confidence that with the time your Redis cluster is good in the shape or not. Another is Redis Insight. When it was launched last year, we started exploring it. And it's amazing to explore what data is inside Redis. You can use CLI from here. All the profilings and everything works well. Configuration you can change. And that gives you developers a easy way to operate Redis. And I think that's all. Thanks a lot.